said that a prosecutor should be able to indict a ham sandwich. And for the benefit of my Jewish brethren, that would apply to a corned beef on rye as well. Again, the jury should be able to go in front of a grand jury, present evidence. What we seem to have been left with is that what you have is very damning information, if true. I have no evidence that it's true. All I have is your statement that you've read this. How could a prosecutor have this information that makes very specific, very detailed charges and leave it at that? A statement that says that we need to charge it when we're exonerated, leaves a statement that damns someone without putting it either way, without either putting it to bed or without dealing with that person and prosecuting that individual. How can that be left at that point?
I can't really answer that except to say that when I was a prosecutor, if we had the Simoncini statement, we would have pulled him in front of a grand jury like right away. We would have pulled Rudolph in front of a grand jury, we would have pulled Katz in front of a grand jury, and we certainly would have pulled Charlie Gonzalez in front of a grand jury who indicated that he had information to give. And I don't understand for the life of me, and I'm very frustrated about this, why the prosecutor did not do this.
I knew nothing about this, but periodically when I have run into the prosecutor, I have asked him what's happening with the investigation in Teaneck. And when I saw him in May, he said, it's never closed because something could come up, but there really isn't anything there. I said, what about the fact that there's no attribution? He said, that may be state law, that it has to be attributed, which is what he told me. But since anyone could challenge that constitutionally, I don't care about that. He said, with the dirty, he said, I don't care about the dirty politics. If someone calls Marty Kramer anti-Semitic, that is not something that is a crime that I'm going to get involved in. He said, the only aspect of it that interests me is the mail fraud. Maybe that's something that he felt he had to. So I said, well, do you have any idea who did this? He said, well, we have people that we can place with the information, the mailing, but that doesn't mean they mailed it. So I said to him, well, did you interview any candidates or council members? He said, a few. I said, and I knew nothing about what Ron and Marty about that. So I said, did you put them under oath? And he said, Jackie, you just have no idea how you do these investigations. You don't push somebody up against a wall and you want to get information out of them. You don't put them under oath. When you ask them again and then their story is inconsistent, a jury will see that. So that seemed idiotic to me. Then I said to him, I've had a concern. Have you interviewed Mr. Ron Simoncini? And he just didn't seem like the name rang a bell. And I had been concerned all along because I knew that legitimately the landlords admitted, filed an elect report that they gave $12,000 or something. So I don't understand the approach, but that is the answer that he gave me. And maybe Marty and Ron are right, that he does not want to go against the county boss, who is not unhappy with the makeup of the council. But with mail fraud, perhaps he has to.
Molinelli was the lawyer for the Bergen County Democratic Organization for Joe Ferriero before he was appointed county prosecutor.
Well, my question is, if you have all the evidence, why can't you follow it up? You have two attorneys. Why can't you go back to the prosecutor and ask him to do something else?
Well, we have. I asked you, Mr. Meany, to come in and look at the letter that we sent to the prosecutor. We have the answer that he gave us, and he said that no one was charged and no one was exonerated, but that's it. So we've tried. We've taken it as far as we can legally.
And I've never seen the town in the shape it's in now. And I've spoken to enough people in town to know that this is just not my own skewed perceptions. The level of hostility and us and them, and you read the letters in the Suburbanite, and it seems impossible that we can exist in one town. And it is so contradictory to the very essence of what brought many, many people to
decades and decades. And what I'm most concerned about is how we can move on from here and maybe use this as one piece of a much larger picture of what shape we're really in, and is this the town we really want to be? And what I look to is the town council. If I were on the town council now, my #1 priority would be bringing together people from different segments of the community and trying to develop a way to talk to each other and cooperate and move ahead together. There is no trust. There is no communication. And I'm not saying this shouldn't be pursued legally. I think it should. But to me, as important as doing that is that the leaders of this town, and some of them are elected and some of them are opinion leaders who are lay people, they're not elected, need to start working together to heal the cleavages. It's horrible, and I can't believe that most people don't feel that.
I'm Lisa Schwartz, and I'm the wife of Ron, so I was personally, very personally, affected by this literature that went out. And my husband's called an anti-Semite. It's pretty upsetting, and I've been upset since then. I haven't looked at this literature in 1 year. And when I looked at this literature again, it tears me apart that he was called an anti-Semite, that Marty Kramer was called an anti-Semite. So, my comment to Debbie is, yes, I think we need to make efforts to bring this community together. But when you have literature that goes out that calls fellow Jews anti-Semites, okay, and does not even give a name so that you can respond to that, that is despicable, that is divisive, Debbie, and there is no way to bring people together when people go around name-calling like that, okay? And so, you know, I agree that this community needs to be brought together. This name-calling has to stop, and it has to start here with this literature. We really need to find out who's responsible for this. We I have to mimic what Alan Stone said and what somebody else, a couple of people said about, yes, none of these people were questioned under oath. And that is key, because Alan, yeah, people are being implicated, and all we have is Ron and Marty's word. But you know what? I believe them because I know they were at this meeting for a very long time, and they came and they had notes, and so, yeah, but we have nothing that says that any of this is the truth. We need these people to be brought under oath. So, my comment is there's a petition going around. We need people to sign it, and we really need to petition the prosecutor as a community to open this so we can start to bring this community together by finding out who is responsible for this divisiveness. Okay? If it is people on our council, then we certainly need to know that.
One point. First of all, you mentioned earlier about the possibility of this occurring in the next election. Well, let me tell you, it already occurred in the Board of Ed election. Wow. When 2 days before that election, we got a postcard signed by some taxpayers group viciously saying we should turn down the budget. We contacted the state, and they are now investigating because we have signed a personal complaint. And they tried to track the organization, could not find a name, could not find whether this organization existed. No one could get any information. It is now currently under investigation in the state. So it has happened again. And my second point is, what has happened to the state investigation of the mail fraud? I don't care about it. What about the mail fraud? It's criminal.